Ranking the posters. Ranking the posters. Ranking the posters. Ranking the posters. With Mike and Tom and ha he who a PowerPoint presentation. Ha he who and lots of digressions. Digressions and digressions and digression. Buongiorno, hola, and howdy, ma'am. From the Everything Sequel podcast, we're ranking the posters of the dollar sequels. One bastard goes in and another one comes out. I'm Tom Stewart from Home Whistle Production, and that's Mike Shintz from the How Dare You Awards. Hello there, Mike.
Hi. I hope you didn't work on that too long. I know you've been a busy man this week.
Yeah, it was more more cathartic than rehearsed, shall we say.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. No, I mean, that's the great thing about this series is uh the music is so imitable.
Hmm.
I mean, it's probably I don't know if we talked about this element of how parodied this series is.
Sure.
I mean, pastiched too. Like lots of people have stolen from it straight faced, but you know, it's also been parodied a lot too. And I think that
Hmm.
the music is kind of a big part of
A
that.
cue
Like,
of that. Yeah, like it's a hook.
yeah, like if you do,
It's like
I can't.
it's almost like the idea starts with the music.
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
Well, even now, our favorite analogy in the um Johnny Cash Space Coyote episode of The Simpsons,
Yeah.
when Homer walks up to Chief Wiggum's you know Mexican insanity pepper chili stand, you get a doo doo doo.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's great.
Well, we're here. We're ranking posters with a twist. An Italian twist, I guess. Today we'll talk about that in a moment. But any final thoughts or reflections on a series that feels like we hardly knew ye,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you know, a huge one.
Yeah. I mean, certainly important.
Yeah.
I think that's my final word on the
No,
subject. I
I
mean,
mean
what else
it
can you
almost
say?
go
You know what I
yeah, it
mean?
almost goes without saying because its influence is its influence and importance is kind of self-evident,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wants to reach that level of artistry and entertainment that this movie represents,
Well,
that these
I
movies
guess,
represent, I think.
yeah. The only thing I would say left for me to talk about, which is perfect because it goes straight into a tangent,
Oh, great. A digression?
a digression immediately
Yeah.
because I seem to recall bringing up
Mm,
McCarthy and the senator that said, the senator that said his famous line about have you no sense of decency at long
yes.
last.
Yeah.
And his name was Joseph N. Welch. I looked it up.
Oh,
And
wow.
I never would have remembered that name. I was glad when I saw it that I thought to myself, no, that name's not in my memory.
Yeah.
Oh, but the James Woods, I was correct, HBO movie is
Yeah.
called Citizen Cone.
Citizen Cone.
Not Cohen, Cone.
Yes, because it's about Roy Cohn,
Yes.
the one I when I thought you were talking about Angels in America.
Yeah.
That one. I've completely forgotten what I was supposed to do for homework. Never
Oh,
mind having look it up,
yes.
but I had a couple. Yeah, I mean it's a huge series. It's kind of penultimate Clint Eastwood
Hmm.
series. I mean, unless Unless in his late
I
90s he
love that
decides to
we,
go back into franchise cinema.
well, I guess we could
Harrison
also,
Ford did.
yeah, because I guess there are technically two left when you consider him as a director. If you do the
Sands of Iwo Jima.
Stands of Iwo Jima, yeah.
Yeah.
But that would, I think, be it. But I love that we saved this as the penultimate, and then of course we'll finish with Clyde the orangutan.
Well, yeah. I mean, and this might sound like a stupid question. This might sound like a stupid question, but Clyde the orangutan is the orangutan from the Cannonball Run movies, right?
I would imagine so, yes.
I
I
would
don't know.
imagine so.
I don't know for sure. I'm not sure how many famous orangutans were banging around in the 80s, but I'd like to think it was just one.
Yeah, unless it was like a kind of Paul Newman, Steve McQueen situation where there were two vying for the public attention, and there's some movie out there which is their towering inferno,
Yeah.
which is where both orangutans have to have equal screen time contractually. I gotta say, if that movie hasn't been made, it really should just remake the Towering Inferno with orangutans. That would
Yeah.
be fine for me. I mean,
Or it would be what was that movie with De Niro and Stallone where they're both boxers, kind of do it like that.
I don't remember that one. I thought you were gonna say Copland. I don't remember
No,
their
yeah, because it's
boxes.
it's a it's a it's a sadly fairly recent movie in the last 10 years, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, so first of all, the fact that Stallone's still playing boxers is
Yeah,
ridiculous. De Niro still playing a boxer.
yeah.
And do
So
they
it was
have
like
the
they had a
DH cat
no,
size?
no, it
No.
was two old men trying to get back in the ring to have I maybe it was the rubber match. I can't really remember all the,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Well, the details would only
the
depress us
sentient
further.
details are like,
I think the details would depress us further. I think that's as much as I want to know about that project, actually.
I I'm 90% sure that Kim Basinger's in it. And so if if that part of my Highlander 2 memory is still working, that's
Yeah,
enough for me because I can't remember the title and
that would be that'd be a
any other
remarkable
details.
pull. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like the space cowboys of boxing movies.
I
It sounds
guess.
like
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Space
a
Cowboys I could watch it almost any time. I don't know why that movie
there is
is so utterly watchable to me.
yeah, and that's the other thing about this series that it's great comfort watch Clint.
Hmm.
Like it's got that. I'm actually trying to think of a of a Clint Eastwood movie that isn't a good comfort watch, and I can't actually think of one. But all I can think of are examples in the tick column, like Tightrope.
Yeah,
You sit me down with Tightrope of an evening, I'm a happy man.
I'm all right. He turns around and sees the handcuff hanging, right?
Yeah, yeah. Tightrope and uh I
Maybe
guess
less
Pink
so,
Cadillac.
maybe less so blood work.
Never seen it. Would I enjoy it, you think?
Yeah, I'm sure you probably would. I guess
Is it
the
Morgan Freeman?
no, Isaiah Washington. I
Okay.
think I have the right movie. The biggest thing that's hysterical about blood work is that you like when you watch it, you will immediately start thinking of the player
Hmm.
because the player ends with Bruce Willis, shooting the shotgun and
Oh yeah, absolutely,
getting
yes.
Julia Roberts out of the gas
Traffic's a
chamber.
bitch.
And yeah, and the end of is it blood work? Fuck, I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah.
it's him try like Isaiah Washington's on death row, and it's that kind of ending. It's the
Yeah.
Hollywood ending of trying to like get there before midnight before they kill this guy.
It's
And
cliche
so,
for a reason.
yeah.
Love it. Yeah, so Any Which Way You Can is our only remaining sequel with Clint as actor, unless,
Yeah.
he does a Harrison Ford and starts playing Red Hulks in movies.
Could you imagine that? tall, thin Red Hulk as a Clint, just wiry Hulk.
The thing was Clint's clothes now are so baggy, and he shrunk so much his clothes are so baggy that when he
They'd
became the
stay on.
Hulk, yeah, it would finally we'd understand how Hulk's clothes don't rip all the way.
If he was the Red Hulk, think about how many chair jokes you could get in there.
I don't think he's willing to have those jokes in his movies. I mean, you've got room for 12 of them in Juror number two because you
Yeah,
got 12 chairs, and I bet
yeah,
there's not, having not seen it, there's not one chair joke in the whole movie.
I'll bet. Plus the
Yeah.
alternates.
Oh, plus that's the sequel to Juror number two, plus the alternates. coming to coming coming to I don't know, street coming to Tubi this fall.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, that's not what none of this. I
No,
promise you
yeah.
digressions, and that's what we got. But we've also got as Millhouse's dad would put it, two spaghetti meals to deal with today. We've got two spaghetti western posters, but we've actually got four to rank because
Hmm.
um, as I don't know if I've said this out loud on the podcast, but the
I think you
Italian
did
twist here, I think maybe I did, um, is that we're going to rank the American and the Italian posters
into it.
of the movies.
All
Um,
right.
so we get a bit more of a range, and also we can kind of compare how the different countries try and advertise these movies. So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
let's do it. Okay. So I've been having trouble finding the edit points in these recordings when I'm on iMovie. So I'm gonna make a bigger deal about anything that requires an edit point so I can find it easier.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
I want to
by
know.
the go
I was
no
gonna say,
no go on
I
go on
want to
go
know
on.
what that means. Go
Yes.
ahead. I was starting to get the
By the
idea.
power of iMovie.
Ooh, I like it.
Well, this is I've gone I put them in order, I guess, of release. Well, no, I haven't put them in order of release because both the American ones would be at the
Yeah.
end. But I've done Italian then American
All
for each
right.
movie. So we start with Per qualche dollaro in pue. Um, and this is obviously for a few dollars more.
How great is it they have the wagon with the dead guys on the poster?
Spoiler alert! Yeah, it's the end of the movie,
Right.
and there's two Clints in this poster because that's presumably him
Yeah.
driving
Have to be.
shouting "Bring out your dead"
Two
as he
Clints, no
goes.
Van Cleefs.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. Right. So, yeah, this is. I mean, this is the poster makes you think it's a very straightforward sequel to A Fistful of Dollars
Right.
or whatever that
But you know what's
translates to in
interesting
Italy.
is that
We know the opposite is true.
I know you probably know this because, like, getting Lee Van Cleef, which was great for the movie, was, I think, questionable at the time because he had been having so many alcohol problems. A lot of people weren't willing to hire
Hmm.
him at the time. And so maybe that's part of the reason they don't put his face on the poster. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a con Lee Van Cleef, but
Hmm.
also con Gian Maria Volante, who's the villain. So they're very much second billing,
Sure.
and
Clint is on the
Clint
top,
and
even
half
above
the
Sergio.
yeah, yeah. So Star Vehicle, sequel to Fistful of Dollars, and spoils the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Not
be as good a poster as it is,
not
but
cool. Right. Yeah.
none of those things are cool.
And yet,
but yet
take a
it's
look at
got
that poster.
it's got the profile of Clint in a poncho taking up half the poster, and the other half of the poster is a wagon full of dead people. So with some like Mexican period architecture in the background, it's hard
Yeah,
to fault.
there are questionable things, choices within the poster, but I mean, look at this fucking poster. I mean,
Yeah. Also, it's a painting
yeah,
and a beautiful one as well. Like the sky in the background is
it's fantastic.
extremely well done, and
The
like
perspective of it.
yeah, and it's sort of slightly the back. It's got that kind of painterly quality as well. It's somewhat expression impressionistic.
Hmm.
So it's almost like the person who made this is capable of doing like a really good landscape painting, but that wasn't in their brief. Their brief was
Yeah.
to just say, hey, those really nice skies and sunsets that you do? Well, cover that with Clint Eastwood, and that's gonna be our poster. And the I think it captures the sort of quasi cartoonish quality of the movie, of both
Yeah.
movies as well, because it's a kind of more of a, it's like a comic book, or well, not really a comic book, but like a dime store novel,
That's what it
western.
feels like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it
Um,
feels bookish because of the black bars, but I just the way the whole thing's framed, the white border on the bottom, small black bar, top,
yeah.
large black bar, cut off just on the left, even like writing into the white on the bottom. All these things that shouldn't work that just look fucking great on this poster.
Yeah, and I think it's as much about the fonts they choose.
Hmm.
And again, the colors within that. There's something that the 60s has a really good hold on fonts and which letters should be colored differently from each other.
Yeah.
It's a very specific skill set, but this period really nails it.
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
Because, it like having Clint Eastwood in yellow and then Sergio Leone in white, that's important.
Yeah. Right. Because
But
you can see both. You don't
yeah,
lose one.
you don't right. But yes, it could be the front cover of the novelization of For a Few Dollars
Yeah.
More, quite easily.
Absolutely.
Or a lot of Western movies are based on Western short stories, or
Hmm.
even like magazine articles. Like I think High Noon is based on the Tin Star,
Hmm.
which was a kind of fairly famous sort of magazine Western short story. And that's kind of what this is calling back to.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's a great start.
Yeah. Happy
I
so
hope
far.
I hope you like my gaudy red background as well. I'm very proud of that. I
Do
I
I?
went I went with a more tasteful red, and I immediately poo-pooed it. Went no, I gotta find something more garish. This
Well,
is
it looks like the blood that they would use at the time, that.
completely yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked before, I think maybe even on one of these episodes,
The
about
beautiful blood.
the 1970s paint blood, the
Yeah.
blood that just looks like it's red paint because it's glossy
Yeah.
on their faces. Okay, compare and contrast. This is uh this is America's version of the
Hmm.
poster, and as better known to us and listeners of the podcast as the same, but with Michael Mine's face in them.
Yeah.
Um, Now this is kind of the opposite of what we just saw, because in theory this is better.
Well,
But well, the artwork is more sophisticated.
yeah, I understand what you
The
mean.
the angles and lines are more challenging. Um, the colors are richer.
Hmm.
It's got texture to it where the other doesn't.
It
But
doesn't give away the ending.
it doesn't give away the ending of the movie. It shows Lee Van Cleef,
Yeah.
um,
I
as
tell
well
you, the
as
thing I think I like the most in this poster are those gold coins up to for
yeah,
a few dollars more. That just
that's
looks
clever.
awesome. Yeah.
Although by the logic of that, it should be for a few dollars more of coins. Like those two coins at the bottom should also be O's, in other words.
Right.
Because why did they keep going with the coins after the words end?
Yeah, it makes it feel as though the movie's more of a like a trail to follow.
Yeah. But it kind of leaves me a little bit cold, I think, compared to the other one.
No, yeah, I don't remember seeing the white bar with the dead or alive in the poster that I made though. Is that on our poster?
Don't remember.
Hmm.
Is the woman holding her holding the bed sheet over her, is she Soapy Tits or is that Lee Van Cleef's sister?
No, I think it's a sister.
Okay. Kind of wish it was Soapy Tits.
She's gonna have to be in a tub.
She would have to be. Well, maybe that's all foam. I'm all hot and foamy.
Yeah.
Um, so despite it looking kind of definitely more like modern art than this,
Hmm.
to me, this is a better example of modern art than
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know?
Especially with the
Maybe
color choices, with the bars and the fonts, like you were saying.
also I think they really cheat with the tagline because if they're releasing all these three movies in the same year, they're making it sound like they've predicted that they're going to make a third.
Right.
But when they're making the poster, they must have known that.
Hmm.
They must have known that it came as a package. So it's the second motion picture of its kind. It won't be the last because we're also doing that poster because we're releasing them all within
Yeah.
months of each other. Um, but it's kind of interesting because your prejudices kind of would lean you towards thinking this would be the American
Hmm.
version of the poster because it's so influenced by
Yeah. Right.
American Western iconography and popular culture, whereas this is kind of more influenced by modern art.
Yeah. I
But
do like the font on
it's
the.
it's much more bland to me. It's much
Yeah.
more
No, I agree. It feels homogenized.
yeah. It's and actually, there's nothing wrong with switching up the fonts and
No.
and the
Yeah.
colors and the size, but this is not a good example of that. Clint Eastwood shouldn't be in that Pink Panther writing at the bottom, for
Hmm.
one. And this is
I
the
don't know
one that
that the man with no name in the middle there also looks like it's more of an add-on font from today than
it really
anything
does. Yeah.
than from back then.
Yeah, it looks like when you add it with Photoshop, when you add text with Photoshop is what that
Yeah.
looks like. But this is the one that makes the big deal of Clint Eastwood as a star, whereas this
Right.
kind of it seems more like an ensemble piece.
Hmm.
Now, the reality is kind of somewhere in between, but you'd
Right. Right.
think, does that mean he wasn't a big enough star in America to carry the movie? Whereas
I
in
don't think so. That doesn't make sense to me, but at the same time, that's maybe a recreationist theory based on who I
oh,
know Clint to be now.
I like the idea of a recreationist theory, like the idea that like the evolution happened and then God just kind of killed everything and then started all over
Yeah.
again, etch a sketch style. I think that could really take off. You could marry creationism and evolution into one unifying theory. I like it. We could solve the world's problems
It's
with that
interesting.
theory. Um,
So on the horse, they've got his little thing unraveled with all the guns, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
didn't it's so it's so brown and muddy in that area. I didn't even see the horse until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the poncho.
But they, between those guns and the horse and Van Cleef, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're still seeing the most important part of Clint, but it feels as though he's regressed into the background because he is.
And he looks like Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade. He looks like he reckon he likes them French fried potatoes. It's also kind of weird that the way that these characters are drawn because Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood are far more handsome than Gian Maria
Yeah.
Volante. Yeah, he's the one who looks like the heartthrob, and
Yeah, right. That's true.
they look like goblins. They look like trolls from Nybog.
Yeah. When I did
We're going to announce our new series later as well. Maybe it'll have something to do with trolls and
hmm.
goblins. Um, Go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I was just gonna say when I did my face for Van Cleef's, the animation I ended up getting made me it's looked like Gargamel as a fucking cowboy. Really liked that one.
Sheriff Gargamel.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well, we're
let's.
developing a base layer. I want to see what's next though. Oh.
Il buono, il brutto, il
Oh
cattivo.
man. I mean, I'm gonna
First of all,
save what I mean. I'm gonna save what I think about the poster for a moment.
okay,
But when you have the good, the bad, and the ugly in another language,
yeah,
that still looks really great.
yeah, and it's bilingual in the movie as well, isn't it?
I
I
think,
seem to
yeah.
remember. Um, yeah. Well, my first thought is, um, where did they get such an old-looking photograph of Lee Van Cleef? This is a Escape from New York era Lee Van
Yeah,
Cleef,
right.
and he's still a relatively young man when the movie comes out, but he looks
Does
older
that,
than Henry Fonda there.
yeah, I don't know. And he, that's funny.
Hmm. I also don't ever remember him wearing like a modern shirt and tie at any point in the
Oh,
movie.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
It looks like he's heading to the office. Uh,
Time for me to open the bank.
yeah, he looks like the bank manager in my sequel
Yeah.
pitch. That's
I don't know. I don't think that I keep looking at the center and that just, I mean, it's a little blurry too, but it like that just doesn't look like Eli Wallach.
No, it doesn't even
He
look like
looks
what Eli Wallach wears in the movie.
too put together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Doesn't
This
really
is
capture his crazy essence.
this has a whiff of I'm not quite sure who these people are kind
Hmm.
of a poster. Like I've guessed what these people look
Yeah.
like. I've not based this on any existing images of them.
I don't know. There's something about this poster that's making to put it in the parlance of the kids today, the vibe of it is we don't have to work too hard. People are going to go see the movie anyway.
Yeah. Which is not to say, I mean, it's not a complete write-off.
No, no.
I like the little boxes.
I like the boxes too. Yeah.
They're kind of like
I
kind
like that
of
they
modernist and tile-like. I think they're
mhm.
good.
I like that they can they sit within the boxes. Excuse me, but can go outside of the boxes. You
Although
know, it's just
they should have lent into that more and had like Tuco throttling throttling Angel Eyes
mhm.
while Clint like holds onto him and grabs him
Yeah.
like it's still from Three Men and a Baby. There you go. That's good. Well, Three Men and a Baby is what's based on Three Godfathers, isn't it? Which was a Western.
Oh wow, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, the Three Godfathers is about three gunslingers who find like an abandoned child and raise it.
Is that why
John,
they
what?
kept? Is that why they kept that drug B plot?
Yeah, in the original, it was a DT suffering Dean Martin. No,
Yeah.
I John Wayne is in it. I can't remember who the other two Godfathers are,
Oh,
but
interesting.
um, I think that's where it came from. Um, yeah, and yeah, I think this is where they could have been a bit even a bit sparer, even
Mm,
like no credits, none of this business in the
yeah,
corners, in the
right.
top corners. On film di Sergio Leone, the three images, Il Bueno, El Bruto, El Cattivo.
And
That's
that's
it.
it. Yeah,
Would be a stronger poster.
agree. I agree.
And even in the even in the bottom corners, there's some
There's some
nonsense going
weird
on.
nonsense going on. Is that an arrow? What's going on there?
Oh, I think there's logos. There's like
Hmm.
this might as well. This might be a physical poster where some of it is not meant to be
On
seen
there.
at like
Yeah.
yeah, it like it would be covered by a frame. Um,
Give it a break on that, I guess.
sure.
But
I think
okay.
it could be cleaner. I think it would be stronger if
Yeah.
everything was just a bit cleaner and there was less clutter.
Well, what do you think of the size of the font of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and the diagonal?
Oh, great.
That's good, right?
And it doesn't even, you know, my again, it doesn't it's so good it doesn't trigger my OCD that
Right.
the diagonal isn't exactly the same as the diagonal of the tiles.
That's one of my
But
favorite things about it. Like,
yeah,
if it's just that, I would like this poster a lot more.
yeah.
I don't think I really like that Leone font.
It
Not as much as I like the bottom font.
it reminds me of something. Is it like Escape from no, Assault on Precinct 13
Yeah,
kind of
kind
font?
of. Right.
It's a very exploitation-y 1970s looking kind of font.
Hmm.
Like when I look at that, I hear bo do 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 do, bo do 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 do. I'm not
Right.
bomb bomb bomb. Totally different.
Yeah. All right. All right. I want to see the next one.
What's the last one?
I know. Ooh.
Now, this is a lot for the eyes to take in.
Yeah.
That's my first note.
You know what's so funny is when it first came up, I was like, this isn't the poster I did. Oh,
It,
fuck. That's the poster I did.
yeah,
I mean, it
it
really took
makes
me a second to remember.
it reminds me of President Schwarzenegger in the Simpsons movie. I was elected to lead, not to read. It's doing too much reading.
Ugh. Well, this poster, the last poster, the Italian poster went minimalist. Certainly on, you know, the lettering and how much there is. This one, I mean, it's just nothing but letters on this poster.
Nothing but letters, lines and lines and lines and lines. It's
Yeah.
some of it's underlined for
And I was
emphasis.
just gonna say, and just underline for three men, the Civil War wasn't hell. It was practice.
It to me that little section, that little paragraph at the top, um, that tells me that they're onto this being a war movie
Hmm.
because that looks like Force 10 from Navarone
Yeah, right.
font, or you know, Dirty Dozen, or I don't know
Hmm.
how many of these films have come out yet, but um, Where Eagles Dare, also starring Clint Eastwood.
This
Yeah,
poster's fascinating.
they're really my instincts are right. There really isn't a a Clint Eastwood movie that isn't a good comfort watch? I can't think of one. I keep thinking of movies that are like where eagles dare. Oh yeah.
The Iger sanction.
I was just gonna say the Iger section as well. Yeah. Play Misty for me. All
Yeah,
that
right.
all that southern, all that Northern California jazz and
Right, right.
Clint reading poetry on his late night. Oh, it's just so good. And crazy Arrested Development mother.
Hmm.
So good. Play Misty for me is like I feel like watching that movie like once a month. I love it so much.
Really, I watched it for the first time just a few years ago.
Oh, I mean it is it's one of those like I always get snotty about Fatal Attraction because for me it's like fucking
Been done before and better.
yeah. How dare you try and steal Clint's thunder? But the thing is like that he managed to sort of make a, and this is, I mean, this is a longer conversation about Clint Eastwood and his talents as a director, but
Hmm.
he makes really easygoing movies.
Yeah.
But they're also thrillers, but they don't feel like thrillers when you're watching them. Play Misty for me, it's like the thriller element just creeps up on you out of nowhere. And there's even a period where the two of them are sort of getting along, and it's just a sort of romantic drama. Anyway, another time, another time.
See, I also remember though, I feel like early on in watching that movie, I was like, warning signs, Clint, warning signs, don't go for the vagina. Just get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, yeah. But it's Northern California and he's a DJ. I mean, it's
Yeah.
implied in his
Yes, it's
mandate.
what I'm here for.
He works he seems to work like 2.5 hours a day, and most of that is like, records that are probably about 30 minutes long. So he's not really
Right.
doing any work when he's in there.
He's sitting here spinning the tunes for you. When I'm done, I'm going to the bar looking for pussy. All right,
uh
but I want to say, like you
as
mentioned
to this poster,
the underlining on the top left corner of this. I
well, how else would they know? How else would they get a straight line?
Yeah, I think my favorite thing on this whole poster is the positioning of and how they put the and vertical. That's great.
Oh, you know what? In my head, I turn that into an ampersand,
Oh wow.
but that's great.
Yeah. And I just find I love it's so fascinating. I can't read what's above Lee Van Cleef's name, but there's
If you
something
can't
there.
read, this must be really hard for you because there's a lot of words on this
Yeah.
poster.
But I love like it's so interesting to me that Eli Wallach is in his own thin box.
Also starring.
Okay.
It says co-starring Lee Van Cleef and also starring Eli
Oh
Wallach.
wow. So the also starring gets the below box, but the co-starring gets
It's mixed messages,
above.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's odd.
Well, I think it's basically saying like we have an arrangement with Lee Van Cleef where his name's first, but we all know who the star of this movie really is.
Right.
I guess as well the fact that
Is
he that
Aldo Gouffre an actor? Mario somebody? Braga next to him? Are those actors?
hmm
Okay. So you're the least important thin, right? Thin font. It's just weird
it's
that they,
it says and with
yeah.
Mario Brega.
Okay.
I don't know offhand who he plays. My guess would be the general.
Hmm.
Um
This is a weird
or
poster.
one of the generals. It is weird, but I really dig it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the poster.
Yeah. I love this kind of like Civil War painting in the middle.
Yeah.
I think it captures some of the madness of the movie to me.
Hmm.
First of all, the benefit is everyone looks like they do in the movie for one.
That's true. Yeah.
And, I like that they're highlighting the canon
Yes.
because the canons are important. And it's kind of, yeah, it's sort of this, and then in the middle it goes a bit Gone with the Wind.
Hmm.
And then it comes back out. Even the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly font is a little bit Gone with the
I can't
Wind.
tell the white between the soldiers, sort of more left bottom corner. Is that
Yeah.
rock or is that more soldiers? I can't really, I'm really leaning in. I can't see it very
Yeah.
well.
I think it's meant to be just so it's obviously it's the battle. You can sort of see the bridge, kind
Yeah,
of.
I see the bridge, I see the
Yeah,
fire. Like the right side of the poster to me is kind of perfection.
I wonder if it's like again like the person painting it was given the wrong information about where this was taking place and that he thought
Hmm.
it was in the snow because it looks like it's happening in the snow.
Mm.
Even though we from the movie we know it. Maybe it was meant to be in the snow at some point. I don't know.
The Civil War of Spain.
Well, they had their own civil war, didn't they?
I think so, yeah.
In the 30s. Yeah. Um, that's interesting. I never thought. I mean, Sergio Leone's Italian, but it's
Hmm.
Spain adjacent, and I wonder if the American Civil War is standing in for the Spanish Civil War. I thought about it in terms of standing in for World War II and Vietnam,
Mm.
but it could also stand in for the Spanish Civil War because that was that was huge. I mean,
Right.
that tore Europe apart. Basically it was heralded the rise of Stalin as well. Um, yeah. So too way too much
Yeah.
writing, but
It's just weird. It's with those last kind of co-stars and then the shit I can't even read. I can only make out United Artists at the bottom, which
a
for some
a
reason,
Trans America company.
yeah,
I'm doing that
which
as much from memory as anything else.
yeah, which only makes me for some reason think of Rocky. But the placement of Sergio,
Uh-huh.
that's weird, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, that's they didn't account for that that name being there. It
Like
looks
this
like they
poster
they
makes
found a
him,
they found a space and then they wrote his
yeah,
name in.
yeah. All the other posters seem to remember that this movie's directed by an important figure for film. This
Yeah.
poster seems to have forgotten that.
Yeah. It's the only one that mentions Ennio Morricone, which I wonder whether that was by the time of release that was as important
Hmm.
to point that out to
Right,
audiences.
right, maybe. Or maybe
Um,
by the time the film was done, they were like, "This fucking music, like, let's
yeah.
get the name on
All
the
it's
fucking
like all
poster."
people are going to be talking about is the music.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Interesting.
are you ready to rank?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think so.
This is good. I have no idea where you're gonna start. Actually, I think I do, but I had no preconceptions about that until we just spoke.
Okay. You know what
Um,
you're gonna do?
well, let me. Could we going from the bottom up? But is that
Yeah,
how you know because you're going from the bottom up?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, well, this shall I tell you what my bottom is, and we'll see if we're the same.
Okay.
This is my bottom.
Interesting. It's not my bottom.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, what is then? It must be this one.
Yeah, that's my bottom.
Oh, I like this a lot more. I it's kind of I think one of the things that puts it above for me is that it because this is a like a late 60s by the time it gets to America, it's like a late 60s um property.
Hmm.
This sort of feels like the 70s poster for it.
Okay.
And I like that. I like that it. This looks like a 70s movie to me.
I feel as though I feel, I feel as though I'm treating this poster unduly harshly. Uh, but there's just a few things that, except for Clint, there's a few things that just put it to the bottom for me.
Hmm.
I mean, for one, the corners, which I feel like I shouldn't be holding against it, but I am because I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And it's,
Whoever Titanus are,
yeah, like,
they fucked
sorry.
up there. Yeah.
And it's so funny to think that the credits of a poster I'm holding against a poster because almost all posters have credits for a movie on them. But here, like, know what you've got. And then on top of
Mhm.
that, two of the characters don't seem to be represented to look like they do in the movie. Clint looks great.
I don't even think Clint looks that great compared to how handsome he looks in the movie. I know apparently
Oh, see,
that's my thing. Apparently that
when I see Clint here, I look at I'm it's almost as though he's walking. I think to myself, look at the gait of
yeah,
the man, you know?
that's true.
Like,
That is true. It's a good representation of the gay, and he
yeah.
doesn't look like Popeye.
I,
Hey, what do you know? Okay, I'll buy that. I buy that. He just looks a bit. He looks kind of squashed.
you think?
Yeah, like especially at that
Now that
stage,
I'm looking at him
Clint was
again, though,
far more wiry than that.
now that I'm looking at it again, though, what is the deal with that poncho? Because that's not the poncho we know, and he doesn't get a poncho till the very end.
I think this. I think these images have been drawn from memory.
And was he wearing a vest with a fuzzy inside during this movie?
This was not. These images were not drawn by a court report. You know, like a court
Yeah.
artist. I think this is someone who had an idea of who these people were and just went with it. Hey, yeah, Lee Van Cleef, that elderly guy, right?
It's so weird. I feel like this should be the second best poster, and it's at the bottom of my list.
Oh, it's not the second best for me. This is this is my third.
Okay.
I think it has all the issues you talked about, and probably more that we haven't noticed. But um, I am obsessed with the tiles. Uh, I like I like everything they do with titles and
Yeah.
the
That
credits
looks
at the
great.
top. I somewhat disagree with you about the Sergio Leone. I know where you're coming from, but again, it feels like it's prophesizing the 1970s in a way that I really kind of
Mhm.
like. The biggest problem and I've just noticed now is how close Il Cattivo is to the credits. There needs to be a little bit
Yeah.
of dead
Does need
space
to be
there.
some space. Yeah, you're right.
To be some dead space there, but
They couldn't fit it in.
and there's also maybe this is just pure nostalgia, but I just like the idea. Like I can see this, like papered on with glue to a wall in 1967 in
Hmm.
some New York alleyway, and it makes me very happy to think about that.
Okay.
Like what do
Hmm.
they call it? Fly papering? Is
Fly
that the
paper.
thing?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Yeah, fly papering. Yeah. Like I don't know. You would see. I think that
Well, because there's also fly paper, like just a paper you put down on the table and flies get stuck to it.
maybe it's not fly paper. What would you call it when
But
you?
that sounds familiar to me, where they're just like throwing it
Right.
up there
Okay.
and
That's the
sloshing it
motion.
on.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. We've got a visual medium
But
here, so
that's the
let's.
first
You
thing
know
I
what I
thought
mean
of
when I
when you
do
said
this.
fly
Yeah.
paper. Was that sloshy slosh?
Bushty splats.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, and I think like I can imagine this is not this is gone beyond like objective criteria at this point. But I can imagine myself as a small New York child in the basically Martin Scorsese, a little Martin Scorsese going to the to the movie. Actually, he'd probably be college age by the time that movie came out, so that analogy doesn't work. But like just like this little, I don't know, Italian American New York child, and you look up and you see this poster with a gold frame around it, and you're like, that looks like the best thing I will ever
Ever.
see in a movie theater. And you go into the movie theater and you leave thinking that as well. So that's why it works for me.
All right.
But it has many and varied problems. What's your
Wait,
third?
isn't this out of order?
Don't stop finding more. I've already admitted there are problems. Stop finding more problems. No, bueno is good, bruto is bad, and cativo must mean ugly.
Yeah, but isn't
Oh
it's,
fuck it! This is fucking wrong, isn't it?
those pictures have to be switched. They have them over the wrong time, they're wrong characters.
Just fucking wrong. Oh god. I can't believe I can't believe I picked this as my third when they haven't even got good, the bad, and the ugly right. Yeah, the person who made this poster knew nothing about the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
or the actors starring in it.
That's great.
This is your bottom, right?
Yeah, it's my bottom.
That's almost enough to make me want to put it down to the bottom. Let me look at my bottom. I'll save you the visual of me like that.
So
Now
you
this is looking better now.
so that's the thing is you had this on your bottom, right? And then
Yes,
you've
I did.
already given me your third,
I
unless
wiped
you
my ass
switch the
on it.
two, unless you switch the two.
I'm coming.
Uh,
I'm really close because I'm looking at this through fresh eyes, and it's starting to sing to me in a
yeah.
way it didn't
See,
before.
I have a problem where
Oh,
I don't know if this is my second or my third.
that's definitely not my second, but it could be my third. I'm officially changing. This is my third.
Oh.
Fuck you. Fuck you. The the good, the ugly, and the bad. Fuck. That's too. I'm sorry. That's just too much to countenance. That's too much to apologize for.
I liked that we were different though.
I like that we were different too, but you that
So
was a
here's the
that
thing.
was a really damning bit of evidence. That was
Yeah,
the smoking gun.
that was finding the candlestick in the
Yeah,
fucking
that was.
kitchen right
It doesn't
there.
fit. It doesn't fit. It
What the
doesn't.
hell are you doing, Professor Plum?
That's my O.J. Simpson in court. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It the you know the great that O.J. Made in America documentary. I love that one of his many lawyers, the guy who's being interviewed, and he said he went up there and he did his best naked gun with the glove on.
I can't remember if it's on that or if I saw it somewhere else where someone said, I've
He
been
went
doing
full
this.
naked gun. That's what he said. He went full naked gun.
I've been doing this a long time. You don't ever hand the piece of evidence to the defendant himself
Yeah.
to try and put on.
Hmm.
To not know that is the biggest mistake I've ever seen a lawyer make.
Yeah.
All right. Now here's the thing.
They thought people understood what DNA was and that nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
They they severely underestimated the intelligence of American juries.
Now here's the thing.
Hmm.
I don't hate this poster as much as you.
I don't hate it as much as I did a couple of minutes ago.
I I don't like that font in the middle. I very much like the for a few dollars more. I think you have a point about the last two gold coins, but I'm willing to overlook that.
It wasn't really a criticism. It was more of a given its judging by your misunderstanding of that, a failed gag. I think you proved it was an ordinary effective gag in interpreting it as just straight down the middle criticism.
I took you at your word.
I was really impressed as well. I improved for a few dollars more of coins. I was a really good improv too, and you were just like, "Yeah, good point." Oh,
That happens on the podcast sometimes when I'm editing.
oh, you missed some of my best stuff. You missed some
Well,
of my
you
best
missed
stuff.
some of my stuff too. And when I feel like one of us has missed stuff, I take a laugh from somewhere else and I add it.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
That's awful because my memory is that you left in real time when we were recording it. So, those are some false Blade Runner memories
Yeah,
that you're
absolutely.
creating there.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, Tom didn't
Yeah,
listen to a word I said there. Or, oh no, I didn't listen to anything Tom was saying. That was really funny.
the important the important thing is neither of us are listening. If one of us was listening or one of us wasn't, that'd be an abusive relationship. The fact that we're both mutually ignoring each other is what makes it a good podcast.
You can cut that part out if you don't want too much inside baseball for everyone. They'll be, where's the fake
Oh,
laugh? Where's the fake laugh? Let me find the fake laugh.
now I'm just going to be listening out for the fake laugh, and I'm going to be like, "That was Gremlins too. He pulled that laugh from Gremlins too."
All right, here's the thing.
So this is not your third, is it?
No, I don't know. It might be.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
Itchy trigger finger, you see.
yeah, I've got problems with this poster. My question is, go back to the American Good, Bad, and Ugly, if you would. So, I tell you, if this poster was just the title, Clint Eastwood, that picture, and the guys,
That's already quite a lot.
I know.
That's that's all it needs.
Yeah, but it has so much more than
It's
that,
so
is my
much
point.
more. Yeah. It's too much. It's too much fucking poster.
Yeah.
It's too much fucking poster.
Oh, this is really hard. I'm also already revealing my number one, obviously, but I guess people could have guessed that by
Hmm.
the way
It's
we
a
talked about
surprise.
it.
They can guess minus too, but it's a surprise number one for me. I had no idea I was gonna
Really?
barely even noticed it when I was putting it together.
Go back
It
to American for a few dollars more. When they flash up to me, I'm gonna go, oh,
we're gonna let them French fat potatoes.
you're not gonna sway me, all right? You can don't sell
Sling
me.
Blade isn't gonna sway you.
Clint looks okay.
I,
Doesn't look great.
just to take us down another terrible tangent.
Yeah.
Um, am I the only person in the world who watches Sling Blade and think Billy Bob Thornton hated Forrest Gump and wanted to essentially tell the same story, but well? Do
That's
you ever think
funny.
about do you think about Forrest Gump when you watch that movie? I can't think about anything but that this is like a riposte to Forrest Gump. The
I
scene
haven't
where
watched
where
Sling
he's
Blade in so long.
that scene where he's like on the football field. I'm like, this is like a parody of Forrest Gump. It's so close.
Is he mowing?
Is he? No, I'm no. It's just like having a scene where he plays football says to me that
That's
I
funny.
don't know. Yeah, it's a great movie. Anyway, I love that movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a super long time.
John Ritter's so good in that.
I do remember
JT
that.
Walsh.
Hmm.
JT Walsh is basically that's probably the most JT Walsh has ever done in a movie that I've
Mm.
seen because he
What
frames
a
it
good
essentially.
fucking actor.
JT Walsh, yeah, and he died so young as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was never young.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
always fat and
He
middle-aged in
was
everything
always
he did.
50. He was always 50.
And it's just like you just go like, in the middle of House of Games. Fucking JT Walsh, look at him. He's fat and 50. Wait a minute, this is like 20 years before this, and he looks exactly the same. How's that? He's a Brimley, I tell you. Well, okay.
You know what? I think Good, Bad, and the Ugly American is third for me.
And this is second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I Oh wait, so this is third for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's
this is my second.
yeah, right.
And I think I like it more than you do. Um it's it just says to me American Civil War.
Yeah.
And I love that it takes that angle because it sets you up for what is in many ways a very historically focused movie.
If they had did something other than if they had gone pop art, like with color instead of just sort of that white background,
Mm.
I think I'd be there for this poster.
To me, this is still the essence of good pop art.
Hmm.
Like it's just a slight gloss on the pop artifact,
Yeah.
which is the sort of like the poster for Gone with the Wind. Essentially, it's just a slightly amplified version of that.
Yeah.
So I kind of still think it works as pop art. I think the biggest problem is there's just too much damn writing.
Yeah. And I just, you know,
And like trying
I
to fit
honestly think
words
it would
in
even
where words
be,
don't belong.
yeah, I honestly think it would even be my second if I can't believe I'm advocating for this, but if it was just negative space to the left on the top.
Yeah. Oh, completely. I totally agree. I'll give that a pass because it gives me the feels of a Sunday afternoon war movie,
Hmm.
as I think it's meant to.
Okay.
Also, I'm almost certain that's the font from the title of the Rockford Files, so I think we all know I'm in the bag for that one. Um,
I was trying to
uh,
decide. I didn't.
you could like you could serve it could be like a bank declaration of bankruptcy. You served it up in that Rockford Files
Yeah.
font. I'd be smiling all the way through reading it.
Lately I was like, I think I should do the Tom and start the Rockford Files,
It's on
and in,
Prime now, I believe.
and instead I started the first two episodes of Magnum PI.
Potato, potato.
Yeah.
And
Fuck,
Rockford
it's
Files
good.
is yeah, Rockford Files is objectively better though.
Well, we'll see. I'll watch both and then I'll report back to you.
It's funny because the in the first season of Rockford, it's straighter than the rest of it.
Hmm.
Like it's much more like Raymond Chandler, James M. Cain when it begins. Like I think it becomes a bit more flamboyant and comedic as it
Hmm.
goes on. But those that the first half of the first season, it's pretty hard boiled noir.
Okay. All right. So we both have the same number one, though.
Yeah, this took me completely by surprise.
Fuck, that's good stuff. Look at that.
I Yeah, it's great, and I like the fact I like the fact that he could just as easily be the front cover of the book.
Yeah.
But that again, that should detract from its
Mhm.
quality, but it actually adds to it. So
You know what's
it's
fascinating
an
to me is
ironic
that
poster.
before we became, I guess, smarter and got those tubes to like roll posters up and put them in, and you
Uh-huh.
just like would fold them, it's almost as though I could see the folds in
See the
this
fold?
poster.
Yeah. And I think they're meant to be folded. Like it's
Yeah.
they're not maps, right? It's like, you're not gonna suddenly sail off course because there's a crease in there. I mean, it's what's the worst that's gonna happen? You got to fold when you unfold it, and then you go, oh, it looks lived in. It's perfect. It's not like you're gonna miss a dragon or something. On maps when they used to have dragons in the sea. You know what I'm talking about. Have you ever seen
Almost never.
have you ever seen the Aardman movie Pirates: An Adventure with Scientists?
No.
It's
I thought
very,
I
very
thought you were going to stop at Pirates with Walter Matthau.
no, it's Pirates exclamation mark An Adventure with Scientists. I think uh it's like a pirates and Charles Darwin on a boat together.
Hmm.
It's very good. Hugh Grant is the pirate crew captain,
Oh
and there's one
shit.
there's one point when they're like,
I thought this was like a movie from the 40s.
oh, no, 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 this is Aardman, like Wallace and Gromit.
Okay.
And there's one point in which they're looking they're looking at a map, and they look across the ocean, and there's how there used to be dragons
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
in
yeah.
the sea, and Hugh Grant's character goes, "Oh well, we won't be sailing over there." And then, of course, because it's Aardman and the visual humor is so good, like, right, just as the movie ends, they pan out to the sea, and then suddenly you see this dragon appear and then go back in the water.
I did watch Vengeance Most Foul.
You must have enjoyed the many cinematic references to
That was
movies we
fun,
love.
man. That was fucking fun.
Did you
I
get the
really,
Die Hard
yeah,
moment? I mean, that's just wonderful because it's a Christmas movie referencing
right.
another Christmas movie, but like right down to the shot of him the slowed down shot of him far away, yeah.
Falling. That's
And
great.
all the Blofeld stuff with the seal, with him petting the seal. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, that's good.
Some great filmmaking.
All right then, sir.
All
Well,
right.
it's in the books. That's my number one. We're flipped on two and three, but we both now officially have Weirdo Box on the bottom.
Yeah, this is both our bottoms. We got to find another way of saying this because we've made so many double entendres in the past however long we've been recording, 20
Yeah,
minutes, hopefully, conservatively, but probably more like 3 hours. Um, yeah, this is the lowest ranked of our
yeah,
posters, and then uh, you go this next, right?
yeah.
And then I go this next,
Hmm. And that's my second.
and then I go
That's your second.
GBBU, and then we meet at the top with this. All right, fascinating.
Yeah,
Not what I would have expected from either country
right.
on either poster, quite frankly. If you're an alien asked to sort of say what does this say about the movie, the film industries in the respective countries, I would be like, well, Hollywood is based in Italy, clearly, and America's more of a kind of experimental art cinema. Another poster ranking in the books.
In the books, baby.
Hope you and I mean that literally. I hope you're writing all this down because I've not been.
Oh no.
Okay. When you say another one in the books, I assume you've got a big book and you're writing all these down. No?
Never.
Oh no. Well, what are we gonna what are you gonna publish in our old age to show that we did all this?
I'll make it up.
Even on our feed, you can't go back past like the last 50 episodes. So if I ever want to look at an episode we've done that's older than 50, it just like literally you have like 50 or like 100 episodes or something, and at the bottom it says, there's more, but we're not going to show you them.
Oh, maybe we have to start re-releasing.
Well, no, I mean if you go to any of the podcatchers, you can. So I normally just look it up on Apple Podcasts, just scroll all the way to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
But on our Transistor FM feed, it kind of caps it on the past, however many episodes.
Yeah, but then you just hit the 2 or the 3 or the 4. You could go back.
I don't think you can.
Oh,
I've
I
certainly
can.
not been able to.
I can go as far back as I want.
Okay. Well, I have to go to Apple Podcasts
Very
and
good
see all
then.
the lovely reviews you leave us.
Do they?
Yeah, we
All
get good
right.
reviews. There's no one like chiming in, you know,
Daily.
telling us we suck. That only happens on YouTube where this is released. Where literally every comment is you suck. But
I thought I was watching
I thought I
Rambo
was watching the
First Blood
movie.
Part 2.
I,
Then I have these two fucking guys just talking about the movie.
yeah. Well, in that case, it would be an improvement. No one would complain about that if they had to watch us rather than watching Racism the movie, the motion picture. Racism the motion picture. First there was Birth of a Nation. Now there is
Yeah.
Rambo. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Last Blood. So you've been saying First Blood Part Two. In my head, I
Oh, that's right.
substituted
I
it with Last
supplanted
Blood.
them myself.
You were thinking Last Blood?
Well, when you said racism,
Yes, of course.
I started thinking
Not
immediately
that
about
there
Last
isn't
Blood.
racism in
I
Rambo
just
First Blood
saw
Part Two.
today that there's maybe a First Blood prequel in the works.
I feel like Stallone said that about every franchise he's done. He said that. Remember when we went to see the Rocky cut? He was talking about
Yeah.
developing a Rocky prequel TV series.
Oh.
I think he just says these things. I don't think they ever go anywhere. I
Well,
think he
this
just
one was like on
he's.
MovieWeb and some director that,
Hmm.
you
Oh,
know,
Stallone's not involved.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it has a better chance of happening then, probably.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he just
Uh,
says things out loud, and then if
hopes that hopes
someone
that's
gives him
enough.
money, yeah.
Yeah, that's enough to get money in his 2 sacks of money. There you go.
What did we call it? Stallone Tourette's. You know, he's got the Stallone Tourette's. He can't help himself.
Uh, well, I don't have we discussed what's next?
I sent you a text
Oh, that's
with
right.
a suggestion.
And I was very excited about it, but now I can't remember what the hell it was.
Oh, well, this is great because we'll announce it to the listeners and to you.
Reveal it for me. I don't remember.
Well, it's just so again, I like to you want to it'll tease it a little bit. It's like teasing is sort of like a digression but backwards. Um reverse engineered digression. Well, I a few different thoughts. One was, and this is by no means true, we haven't done a horror series in a while.
Oh, I remember it now. Yes.
Sorry, but but that's not true at all. I mean, Candyman is still well within
Sure.
recent memory, but it feels like we haven't done one for a while, and we always talk about how there are so many horror series we want to
We
investigate,
can't
and
just do it on in October.
so it feels like as we're kind of approaching, we're into spring, it's time for a horror series. Um, and it's kind of it's like a genre of horror that we've not covered much of.
Hmm.
We've maybe done really only one movie that is
Comes
adjacent,
close, like
the
Gremlins
adjacent to
2.
yeah. Oh well, okay. Oh, we're going that we're going into specifics. Yes, Gremlins 2 would be the nearest and dearest to what we're
Sorry, I
about to
didn't.
talk about.
I should have kept it vague.
No, that's okay. Um, and and the other element is it is a series that, well, actually, we've come across the director of at least one of them, I think.
I think that's right. I remember that. I don't remember what, but
Oh, John Carl Bruckner from Friday 7.
oh,
I believe directed one of these. I was about to say the name of it. That would have been anticlimax. Directed one of these movies, one of these sequels, but not like the first sequel, like the second or third. I think something
hmm.
like that. Um, and it's something that that whenever it's good that we're announcing this on the poster episode, because I think I've talked about this movie's poster more than any other poster I've ever referenced in our
Well, I was
podcast.
just okay. Go ahead.
And you know what I mean when I said they put the uh, on the toilet in the
I was gonna
poster,
say that what
so
I
they had to put
recall.
the
Yeah,
on the toilet in the movie. And this is an anecdote I've told about 8 or 9 times on different episodes. So,
I was gonna
uh,
say that was the thing I was gonna say. I was hoping that my uh Highlander memory was working well enough where I think it's the original movie, and
yeah,
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure there's a toilet on that poster.
yeah. But I don't. But I'm wondering.
And
I'm
who
trying to.
can't get excited about that?
Unless they waited till the second movie to put the ghoulie on the toilet in response to the poster for the
You
original.
just let it slip.
Did I say it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Ladies and
there's
gentlemen,
only one series it can be after I've said the
toilet.
toilet on the poster, and it's the Ghoulies series,
Yes.
which to my to my continual amazement consists of 3 separate movies. Um,
Yes. Well,
and so
four,
there's
including the
four
original.
four in total, but 3 sequels.
Yeah.
And I checked, so that they're all available in some form or another. One of them on Prime, not the one you're thinking of. And yeah, and I don't
I
know. It
thought I
seemed
saw that one of them was on MGM.
that seems way too grand, and that's not a pun about the hotel.
No.
It just seems way. There's something wrong with it, but like that when you said MGM, I thought of a ghoulie in a top hat, and it didn't seem right, like Michigan J. Frog or
Jeff
something.
Frog. Hello,
Even
my
though that's
baby. Hello,
even
my
though that's
darling.
Warner Brothers. Um, but I don't know if it like I said, we've done Gremlins 2. We've done obviously talked about it on this episode. Trolls 2.
Yes.
Um, and I believe we've done at least one movie, which I think is Friday 7, directed by one of the directors of these movies.
Okay.
I know he did a a late Ghoulies. Speaking of sexual innuendos, um, in for some late Ghoulies. Uh, it's the new booty call. We call it late Ghoulies.
Just touch my ghoulie.
You up? Yes. Late Ghoulies?
It's
Question
the
mark.
new eggplant. Just a fucking ghoulie on a toilet.
And then the person writes back, "I'm not sure to what you are referring."
Oh, every time I send that, it means I want sex. What? Why?
Oh, I've been blocked. How did that happen? Um, but I don't know this kind of a series. Maybe Tremors can't. I mean Tremors, but that was that they were all video sequels.
Yeah.
So it was kind of video. It was a kind of video sequel dialogue. Whereas this is kind of like and I suppose Friday's a little bit like this as well. But these are big series. This is a smaller series.
Hmm.
it's pure plagiarism. It's one of the many creature series that was invented in the Gremlins boom,
Hmm.
right? I mean, they were just leeching off the
85, I
popular,
want to say, is that
yeah,
first Ghoulies.
just leeching off the popularity, and there was the Ghoulies and the Munchies
I
and
mean, that's just a year later, right?
Ghoulies and the Munchies, and isn't there another like Gremlins knockoff?
There's like one called The Gate that has little stop
Yeah,
motion creatures, I remember. I mean, I just watched that for the first time a few years ago,
I think
maybe
there was
two
there
years
was.
ago.
I think it's a Gremlin exploitation movie.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know if we've done a series which is so in just a pure knockoff of another film
Hmm.
series. I don't know if we've done one of those yet. Quite
I
the
like that
same.
idea.
Yeah, I like that. That's what I respond to with this. I'm not, and our we both love horror movies. We both love
Hmm.
horror comedies. I don't know about you, but I think creature movies are some of my favorite horror
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
So I don't know where to pitch my expectations. Like I don't want to be disappointed, but at the same time I don't want to expect too much. I don't know what to think.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna like be I'm gonna fall in love with the Ghoulies and then fall out of love with the Ghoulies. I
Right.
don't know what way it's gonna go.
I don't
So
I know for sure. I'm pretty certain I don't think I've seen any of these movies.
no, me neither.
I may have seen the original, but I don't remember seeing it. So I might not have seen anything of the canon of the Ghoulies. And that's saying something for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen the. I literally, it's a chew moment because I've seen the poster.
Yeah. Groove tubes.
I've seen the
Ape
poster.
ape with a TV on his head.
I've seen the VHS box cover of at least two of the sequels
Hmm.
when I was at the store and thought, I don't think they'll let me watch these. Although my parents let me watch Gremlins, and I don't know what the big. I'm not sure because they had to be. I don't know. We're gonna find out. There's
Yeah.
so many unanswered questions. Are these kids movies?
Are they PG-13 or are they R?
I've done zero research.
Okay.
Um, so we'll find out. Um, what of the series we've just done? Are they PGs? Are the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and For Evil
Oh,
is more PG?
I don't know.
Hmm.
They're
Is
violent.
it for various reasons that are too complicated to go into now? I've been watching a lot of 1970s movie trailers at the moment, and I am shocked how 99% of uh the Grindhouse movies made in the 70s are G or PG rated. I don't think they knew what they were doing with the rating system in the 70s. I mean it only arrived in the 70s, and I think for a while they were just randomly assigning numbers by lottery to movies because Charles Bronson's The Mechanic is a PG.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How,
Um
how many people are raped in that movie?
it's great. There's in the
There's
trailer
only
he
one rape in this movie. That's a
yeah.
low for Bronson. Give him a PG.
It begins with like this client coming to him and saying, "I want you to handle this." He's an assassin. The mechanic is actually an assassin. He goes, "I want you
Yeah.
to handle this one differently." And he says, "I'll handle it like I always do.
No dice.
No dice."
This ain't
It's just,
over.
it's like they, it's like every time Bronson appears in the scene, there's like normal actors around him doing normal acting, and it cuts away, and it looks like they're cutting away to a still picture. I'll handle it like I always do.
He
Just like,
started to sound like Dracula.
yeah. Listen to the children of the night.
He missed his calling. He should have
What
been a Dracula.
what music they make.
All right. Anything left for you, or is all business taken care of?
No, I'm ready for my, I'm ready for my ghoulies. Um and
I'm
I
ready
don't
for
know,
my
I
close-up, Mr. Ghoulie.
on the toilet. Yeah, no, and that was the other part of picking my ghoulies. Um was that I thought, oh, we want to do something fun.
Yeah,
I was just like, kind of everything we do is fun. Like we
yeah,
haven't done a serious movie since Shay Part Two. I think
right, right.
they've all the rest of them have been fucking off their rocker comedies or something mad. But I don't know. It's like a perception thing of like, let's go
Something
for
silly.
something silly. That's what
Yeah.
I think it's. But I don't know if this is going to backfire because I have no idea whether they are actually entertaining or.
We find ourselves knee deep in a house party situation.
I think it might be a house party scenario. We get very excited about the idea of doing something different and
Yeah.
mixing it up a little bit, and then halfway through the second Ghoulies, we're like, "What the fuck did we do?" And then we're gonna find out that there are more Ghoulies than we think there are in the
Yeah.
world.
In
And
the end, there's 9 ghoulies. We got to split them
only
up.
only three Ghoulies. I've checked. I've double checked. There are
All
no
right.
more Ghoulies.
When's that
Um,
remake gonna happen? It's time for CGI ghoulies, right?
Critters.
Critters.
No, the thing was that when you said reboot, I went, wait a minute, didn't Ghoulies have a reboot? And I was like, no, that was Critters. Critters! That's what I was trying to think of. Didn't they do like a Critters TV series recently
Did they?
for Shudder?
Maybe we should. How many critters are there? Maybe we should do these series back to back.
You're always really good at thinking of ways of alienating our audience. Hey, maybe we just keep doing the Gremlin exploitation movies for the rest of the year. How long would it take us? Then we do Amityville.
Forever.
Texas Chainsaw. My God. Yeah.
Up next, 5 months of Amityville movies. That'll get us a quarter of a way through all the movies.
I mean, we'd have to do an Amityville spin-off series
Yeah.
podcast. We'll call it the Amityville.
Everything sequel podcast annex.
You could just call it the Amityville Horror because that
Colon.
describes
Yeah.
that describes the podcast as well as anything does. The horror is just on our faces as we get to the
Oh,
18th
mercy.
Amityville basement.
All right. Well, I gotta pee, so time to sign
Okay.
off.
Yep. Time to ride off into the sunset with a cart full of dead and or a bag of gold
A bag of
coins.
money.